There is nothing more powerful in today's economy than building a personal brand. Not a business, not a product, but a brand. Because it's your brand that's going to build the business faster. It's your brand that becomes the product. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to build an unstoppable brand that makes people want to do business with you. It's going to make you more money and make people want to partner with you. So let's start with the most important question. What is a brand? Most people would say logos, colors, fonts, maybe even a nice little tagline on your website, clean aesthetics on your website. And don't get me wrong, all those things are nice and they're cool to have, but it's not a brand. It's like a ribbon or a bow put on a nicely wrapped package. That's what those things are. But the real definition of a brand is the story that other people tell themselves about you. More importantly, it's a story that they tell themselves because of you. I'm going to say that again. A brand is a story that other people tell themselves about you. And more importantly, it's the story that they tell themselves because of you. Now, there's two parts to that. Most people like to focus only on the first half. What is everybody saying about us? What do people think about us? What is our reputation? How do people perceive us? Which is important. But the most powerful brands just don't make you feel something about the brand. The most powerful brands make you feel something about yourself. The most powerful brands makes you feel that you can do more, that you can accomplish more, that you can make more, that you can have more, that you can do more. It's a representation of how it makes you feel. If it empowers you, if it disempowers you. That's what a brand does. And that is a brand. I want you to think about when somebody puts on a fresh pair of J's. They don't feel like they just have any old pair of Nikes on. Just a regular pair of shoes. But when you put on your fresh pair of J's, your fresh pair of Jordans, you feel like you're part of something much bigger than yourself. You're a part of a culture, an exclusivity, community, right? But guess what? Anybody can go out and buy some Jordans. You don't have to be making a certain amount of money. You don't have to be a certain height. You don't have to look a certain way. Anybody has the right to go out and purchase some Jordans. But when people put the Jordans on, they feel something about themselves that they don't feel when they have on a regular pair of Nikes. And this is not just because of great marketing either. But this is a belief system that was also built through the marketing. Here's a principle I want you to remember. Every brand is nothing more than a belief system. Every brand is nothing more than a belief system. So I want you to ask yourself the question, what belief system is your brand built on? Because everybody has a brand. Everybody has a brand. Whether you have a business or you don't have a business, you still have a brand. Right? Everyone has a certain set of beliefs that they live by, that drives their behavior, which then gives them a certain result, which then allows people to form a story about them because of the way they move, because of the way they execute, because of the things they have, because of the things they buy, because of the way they interact with people. So what belief system or systems is your brand built on? Me personally, I follow biblical laws, right? Laws of Jesus Christ. That is a belief system. I believe that fitness and physical training is the highest form of self-development. That is a belief system. I believe that wealth is not just money, but wealth is your capacity to contribute spiritually, mentally, financially, relationally, physically. That means you must have the money to give if somebody needs it. You must be in great physical shape to help out if needed. Right? You must have beautiful and meaningful relationships to connect other people. or to lean on if you need them. You must be in a good place mentally to be able to help other people with their mental. You must be able to be in a place to be able to pray for somebody if needed. Right? That's wealth to me. And I believe that. Right? But those are all belief systems that lay the foundation and the groundwork for how I move and how I operate. So I want you to ask yourself, what belief systems is your brand built on? But today we're going to cover 4 pillars of building a brand of wealth. Building a brand that makes people want to do business with you. Building a brand that makes people want to partner with you. 4 pillars. So the first one is conviction. Now, I don't mean confidence, because many people will confuse conviction with confidence. I mean, they are related, like cousins, but they're not the same thing. Confidence says that I believe in myself, that I can do this thing because I've done this thing thousands of times. But conviction is saying that I believe what I believe. I'm going to stand on what I stand on. I'm going to stand 10 toes down, even if I got to stand by myself. I believe what I believe. I said what I said. I move how I move. I believe in what I'm going after. I'm standing 10 toes down, even if I have to stand by myself. If nobody else stands with me, if everybody says that I'm stupid, I'm going the wrong way, I'm not doing the right thing, whatever, that's conviction. I remember years ago, I used to work this job, right? And I worked on the sales floor. And I had this supervisor who, he was one of those guys that, like, once he got some power, like, he just felt like he had control over everybody. Yeah, he was like one of those guys. And one day he asked me to help another associate to go outside and grab carts. Now, on this day, it was pouring rain outside. I mean, like cats and dogs. And I told him, I was like, man, nah, not today. Now, I've done it before, helped out. I was like, man, not today. I'm not doing it. He said, well, that's disobeying a direct order, and I'm going to have to write you up, and you may lose your job. I said, hey, bro, do what you got to do. I'm not doing it. Now, I've never been written up before, so I really wasn't worried about that, because I also understood the rules and also understood how it actually worked out. Right? That you actually have to go through a chain of command, and you got to go through HR and talk about the situation, all this. I understood all of that. But I wasn't going outside that day. Not when it was raining like that. Right? And on top of that, the guy that does the carts, he always had this play, right? This game where he would let the carts build up. Therefore, the manager would go, hey, man, can you go help Leroy outside with the carts? It's like, we done barely had any customers today. Why is the carts built up? But Leroy been out there chilling. That's really not his name. But he's been out there chilling, knowing that he was going to get some help. Right? So I was like, that day, I was like, nah. I'm not about to go outside, get soaking wet, come back inside in the AC, get sick like a dog. Not doing it. That is conviction. That is standing on business regardless of the circumstances. Regardless of the punishment that may follow. Now, why is conviction important to have in building a brand? Like, what does conviction have to do with a brand? First, like we said earlier, every brand is a belief system, right? And if you don't have convictions in what you believe, then you'll just flip-flop your way through life, through business, through relationships. It's just like weight loss. I'll give you a simple example. Let's say if somebody's trying to lose weight, right? They start out with, they was like, man, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do this keto thing, see how it work out, right? 2 weeks in, they see somebody on Instagram talking about, man, if you're not doing intermittent fasting, I don't know what you're doing. Like, if you really want to cut weight, the fastest way to do it is intermittent fasting. 2 weeks in, so they decide to switch to intermittent fasting. Then they read an article 3 weeks later about carb cycling. They was like, hey, man, intermittent fasting don't work no more. You need to do carb cycling. So they go ahead and was like, you know what? I'm done with this intermittent fasting thing. I'm about to do this carb cycling thing. So they go and they do carb cycling. Then maybe a week later, they was like, a friend tells them, man, what are you doing? Like, carb cycling don't work no more. You need to do paleo. And he goes and tries paleo. See what I'm going? Off to the next thing every single time. And then 6 months later, they're frustrated because nothing has changed. Still at the same weight. Nothing has worked. Right? And the thing is, like, they're putting in the work. So it's not like that they're lazy, but they just lack conviction and consistency in the thing that they're doing. But they don't have no consistency because of the conviction. Your brand works exactly the same way. Without conviction, you'd be all over the place. All over the place. You'll change your business idea because someone told you it never worked. You'll change your messaging because you didn't go viral in a week or 2 weeks. Right? Now, your message is always something you should be curating. But I'm talking about completely change your message from like a 180 to a 360. Because it was like, man, I tried this for a week. It didn't work out. Right? So you have to have convictions in the things that you are building. Because if you don't believe in the things that you are doing, why should anybody else believe in what you are doing? Seriously. If you barely believe in the things that you are doing, why should anybody want to support you, want to follow you, want to do anything with you if you don't believe in it? Talking about Leadership 101, conviction. Conviction is what keeps you on the path long enough to see some results show up. I started out, me personally, 135 pounds, somewhere around there, graduating college. I just wanted to be 160. I was like, man, if I can get to 160, oh my, life would be great. It took me a while to get to 160. Of course, I surpassed that now. I was been up to like 220. Took me a while to get up to 160, but guess what? I had convictions about getting to that 160. People say, oh man, you look fine the way you are. Oh, you need to... But guess what? I had convictions about the things that I was doing. I had convictions about the lifts I was doing. I had convictions about the way I was lifting, how I was eating. Conviction. Right? And you might seem a little crazy, but guess what? You got to be willing to be a little crazy. You got to be willing to almost go down with the ship sometimes. Right? If you want to build a brand, you have to have conviction first. Second thing you need is character. Now let's start with, what is character? Character is simply who you are when nobody's watching. That's it. The way you are when nobody is watching, that is your character. Because anybody can follow the rules when the pressure's on. Anybody can follow the rules when everybody's watching. Anybody can do the right thing then. It's easy to do it then. But character is how you are in private when nobody is watching you. It's your integrity. It's your standards. It's whether your words really match your actions. Right? This is important. I want you to write this down. Your brand will rise and fall to the level of your character. Your brand will rise and fall to the level of your character. I want you to think about that. Everyone that has reached any type of success has always fallen because of a character flaw. Every single one. Everybody that has reached a certain level of success and has failed because of a character flaw, typically involving sex, money, a hunger for power. Those are the big three. Right? That's why it's important to have the right belief systems like we talked about earlier. Because if your belief systems are all jacked up, guess what? Eventually your behavior is going to get jacked up. And eventually you're going to get results that are all jacked up. All right. But when you have the right belief systems, you don't have anything to worry about. Nothing at all. Because it's your gifts that will open doors for you, but it's your character that will keep those doors open. So let me give you a little code that I live by. It's called principles over people, people over profit. And what that means is money should never come before people. Because if it does, all you would do is use and manipulate people in order to get money. You'll do whatever you got to do to manipulate people in order to get money, which is crazy to me because the money is in the people's pocket and you don't have to manipulate them to get it. All you have to do is solve one of their problems and then they'll happily give you the money. Go figure. Right? If you put that much time and energy, because you got to put time and energy both ways. If you're going to put that much time and energy in trying to manipulate people and get over on people, why don't you just put that much time and energy in serving people? Finding out, so what are your problems that you're going through that I can help with? What are the things that I can help you solve? And they will happily give you money for it. Happily. Right? So you never want to put money over people because all you're going to do is just manipulate people, use people. If that's your belief system, if you think money is everything, I think it's Voltaire that said, if you think money is everything, you'll do everything for money. If you think money is everything, you'll do everything for money. That means you'll have no boundaries, right? It's always get money over everything. And you hear that a lot in today's society. And you also don't want people to come before principles. Because if people come before principles, you'll change your behavior. You'll cross the lines based on the person. So it's always a switch up. I'll do this for you, but I won't do this for you. I'll kill, steal, and destroy for you, but I won't kill, steal, and destroy for you. Right? But when your principles come first, everything gets filtered through the principles. It's like, I say that I'm this type of person, I live by this standard. Doesn't matter who the person is, doesn't matter how much money I'm going to gain from it. If it violates my principles, I don't do it. So it's principles over people, people over profit. Principles should always come first. People come second, profit comes last. But when you do that, you're able to build a great reputation of consistency. That's what you get the most out of it. Because people don't have to worry about you flip-flopping all around. Like, man, I saw you do that for him. Can you do it for me? Nah, man, I can't do that for you. That's family, bro. All right? So it gives you a certain level of consistency in your reputation and your character. I want you to think about this. Think about the person or the people that you trust the most in your life. I want you to ask yourself, why do you trust them? The people that you trust the most, why do you trust them? Seriously. And don't say because, oh, they're family. That's not why you trust them. The people that you actually trust the most, you trust them because they do what they say. They are the person that they say they are. Whether right or wrong, right? Because some people, they trust people that do the wrong thing. Some people, they trust people to do the right thing. Whether it's right or wrong, you trust people that are stable in their values, in the things, in their beliefs, the things that they believe in. They have a certain level of stability about them, right? People in the streets, same thing. Like, you know this dude will ride with you. You know this dude would stand up for you. You know this dude would do this and that. Like, they have a certain level of stability in their values, whether their values are right or whether their values are wrong. But you trust them because they've shown you that consistency. Right? Their character is predictable. Right? And all that does is build unbreakable trust. right? And then when you build a brand by that trust, you build quality relationships. People will trust you with their business. They'll trust you with their money. They'll trust you with their most prized possessions. They'll want to work with you. And it's not always easy to build and maintain that type of character, because the higher you go, the more temptation you're going to be faced with, the more opportunities you're going to have available to you, the more access you're going to have to people, to things, the more time freedom you're going to have, the more discipline it requires. Right? Like I said earlier, your gifts will open doors for you, but it's your character that keeps them open. So you have to have a good, solid character if you want to build a solid brand. Right? Next, we have clarity. This is where people that have good character, strong beliefs and convictions, this is where they still struggle. Because they don't know how to communicate their message with clarity. Right? And the older I get, the more I get into business, the more I get into branding and understand how everything works and just how life works in general, the more I come to value communication. Right? If you haven't listened or heard Myron Golden's 4 levels of value, highly recommend you just go on YouTube and type in 4 levels of value. It'll come up. And he gives some great insight on the power of communication through that. Right? Because the reality is, if you can't communicate your message clearly to others, no one's going to buy from you. No one's going to want to follow you. No one's going to help build your vision. Right? And if you also think about the most frustrated people in life are the people that can't communicate either how they feel, what's going on, what's happening. They can't communicate their message. They can't communicate anything. Those are the most frustrated people in life, in relationships. Relationship struggles as people struggle with the communication. The person who communicates the clearest message always wins. Typically always wins. Right? But that just doesn't apply in business. It applies to relationships. It applies to debates. It applies in negotiations. Clarity of communication is one of the most valuable skills that you can learn and develop while building a brand, while building wealth, while entering into relationships, while going into business. All those things. Now, there are 3 types of clarity I feel that we need in building an unstoppable brand of wealth. Right? Number 1 is clarity of identity. This is who you are as a person. Do you know who you are as a person? Because if not, if you don't know who you are, the world's just going to tell you who you are. And I promise you, you won't like that at all. Number 2 is clarity of your market. This is who do you serve? This is not just for business. This is the type of people that you want around you. This is the type of people that you want to help and serve as a community. The people you want to volunteer with. The people you want to do business with if you have a business. Right? Everyone is serving someone. So you have to know the people that you are serving. The tribe you were called to serve. Right? And the last clarity is you need a clarity in your message. This is how you deliver and articulate in your message in order to build your audience, in order to build your business, in order to build your influence, in order to get people to follow you, in order to get people to support your mission, to want to be in a relationship with you. Right? Communication, clarity of identity, clarity of market, clarity of your message. 3 important clarities that you need in order to build a solid brand. Right? And the last pillar is consistency. You have to have consistency. But the cool part about this is If you have the conviction, if you have the character, if you have the clarity, you're more likely to be consistent. The people who aren't showing up consistently are the people who don't have convictions. They don't have character. And when I say character, I mean, I'm not just talking about are they a good person or not. I'm talking about character and do you keep your word to yourself? You said you were going on a diet 6 years ago, 5 months ago, right? You said you were going to start doing this and start doing that. But if you break that promise and that trust with yourself because you didn't do the things that you say you're going to do, you're also violating your character. So there's levels to character. But the people who aren't showing up consistently, they either don't have the convictions, don't have the character, or they don't have the clarity in what they're going after. So therefore, they lose out on the consistency. They'll start for a second and stop. They'll start for a second and stop. But once you focus on those first three, the consistency becomes easy. Because you're willing to stand alone when nobody else is listening. You're willing to stand alone when everybody else is telling you you're going the wrong way, that it doesn't make sense, that I don't understand, that I don't like that. It's okay, cool. Right? You're willing to stand alone. You're willing to build the character and build the reps and do the things that you say you're going to do, even when it's tough, even when it's challenging. You know what you stand for, right? You know the people you want to be around, the people you want to help. You know how to communicate with them. You know the things that they're struggling with, right? Because you've done the work to understand them and to want to build a solid communication of clarity that's going to attract them because you know the things that you offer in the life that you're living can help them. Right? We're not just talking about a business brand. Like I said, everybody has a brand because everybody lives by a certain belief system. Now, when all four of those things are working together, that's when people trust you. People listen to you. People follow you. Opportunities start to come your way. People start to find you. They want to do business with you. They're constantly chasing down. They're constantly chasing you down because they see the consistency. They see the clarity, the character, the conviction, and they want to be around people who are branding themselves with wealth. Because again, wealth is not just built through money, but it's built through reputation, influence, and trust. Are you building a reputation of wealth? Right? But I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share this with somebody you feel might be able to benefit from this. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.